So we'll start from scratch. Pretend like, no, don't pretend like that didn't happen. Well, greetings and welcome, beloved soul tribe, to this week's session. And as we were just discussing, what a week it's been. The Lionsgate portal proved to be the most powerful that we've experienced yet, and it brought us a spectacular display of light encoded waves streaming through the portal and into the earth plane. And we've all experienced this. All of us were completely suffused and blessed with the lion's heart of courage and strength and generosity of heart and freedom. We've stepped another step closer to that freedom and that being able to extricate ourselves from the matrix. And, you know, I'm really happy to report that this was due to the efforts of the lightworkers who assisted to anchor it into our beloved Gaia and therefore into the collective. And within this opening, you may have experienced a new pitched frequency, or that ringing in our ears, but it was a slightly different pitched frequency, very high, which was in the key of F sharp. And this relates directly to the signature heart frequency. So it has been touching the heart chakra big time, as well as vibrating up into the throat chakra. And I'm sure most of you will still be in the process of integrating all of those massive waves of light into our physical bodies. I personally don't think I've landed fully back from the Stargate as yet. I'm definitely walking more in the etheric, despite all the earthing I've been doing and all the grounding I've been doing and all the hugging trees I've been doing. But I have to say, it's a beautiful, magical state to be in. And for those that had cleared enough from their fields and were able to receive and hold the full brunt of the new higher frequencies, the integration process will take at least another week. However, the Lionsgate portal is now coming to a close. Just in time for another alignment to commence. And so for those that are able to or have the strength to receive it, which hopefully will gain a bit more strength by our journey tonight, this week we've got another wave of really delightful, high vibrational and love-filled energies being gifted to us from the cosmos. And it's all courtesy of two specific alignments which will boost each other. And those are the Sun, which will still be in Leo, and Venus. They will both meet up in beautiful symbiotic harmony in the sky. And this positioning creates a beautiful wave of energy that powers us up and shines a radiant light upon all things Venusian, like love and romance and relationships and beauty, seeing beauty, passion. And what's most excited, you know, what's the most excitingly thing about this is our individual creativity will be highlighted, and within those energies. And this creativity that we are bringing through for the collective and our creative is our gifts that we are presenting to the world. And you know, you're all expressing those in such powerful ways now. You know, the conversations that we've just had would not have happened, you know, a few years ago, because we just weren't there yet. And the Sun and Venus in unification brings a gorgeous influence on this week's full moon, which will be conveying out our own uniqueness. It highlights the special aspects of self which may have been labelled weird and peculiar, and we did speak about weird on Sunday. It highlights them in a much more loving way. And I can't remember exactly the definition that Anne gave of weird the other day, but in general, by definition, weird is actually all that which is mysterious and outside of law. Weird suggests the intervention of supernatural influences on our human affairs. So it's actually really great to be weird. And these energies this week are accentuating our authentic self, our very unique self, and our individual weirdness. And how now it's time to express our weirdness to the world. So the question to ask yourself is, are you still living in the shadows as part of the crowd? Or are you stepping forward and expressing your uniqueness? And, you know, some of us have been able to just be weird anyway. But I think there's still some that have magic in their soul that aren't fully expressing it. So anyway, these codes and frequencies coming through this week can really assist you in making a huge change in your life and jumping up and moving into, well, completely new and higher timelines. And beyond those we vibrated into during the Lionsgate, because we've during the Lionsgate we've jumped up timelines. So, you know, with the combination of the Sun and Venus in union and the full moon, you know, we've got another opportunity to jump up again. And it feels like everything's in, you know, fast forward mode, you know. But it also opens up a doorway where, if you've been making the necessary changes and if you've been doing your inner work and taking the steps necessary, then you may even, and this is exciting, you may even have the opportunity to see physical manifestations appear within many areas of your life. And I'm like, bring it on. I'm happy for that. Of course, there's a flip side, which there always is with the moon. The flip side of this is that the lower manifestations may present to some as feeling unlovable and powerless. And it may also present as jealousy or needing to compete with others. At least 70% of people on the planet may feel an increase of nervous energy. And these are the ones that are still got a lot to transmute, or haven't even bothered to start looking, or are just really stuck in the material 3D world. And for those that have not really cleared out their inner worlds, it may even manifest as craziness or even unhinged behavior, including forcing away associations which are actually for that person's highest good, or being destructive and projecting that inner shadow that's not been worked with onto others. And many on the planet are now really experiencing that core wound healing of the heart coming up. And we will see it manifesting in the collective this week around the world. Many are simply not at a stage where they are ready for the 5D consciousness and these higher frequencies. And previous shifts in previous ages of this magnitude have shown that the majority choose to remain asleep and therefore will not ascend. So if you're one of those naturally responding to the shift, which will be us and people like us, my advice is to please hold the space of light for all of humanity, even in the midst of chaos, and of what may be happening around the globe, as well as personally. The point of divergence is here now. It is now. And the divergence is between the new and the old paradigms. And I don't believe that the new and old will merge. I believe, that it will be a split. And of course, we'll have great compassion for those still remaining in the shadow consciousness. We as the light workers, we will work to shine the light and awaken as many as possible. Remember to moment by moment feel what is presenting for you individually. The good, the bad, and the ugly, not just the good, airy, fairy, new age stuff. And whatever presents, breathe in joy and breathe out gratitude and love. We joyfully accept and acknowledge these shadows when they do arise, be it within ourselves or within the collective or others. So we breathe in joy and we breathe out gratitude and love. And for us, and I guess all of you know who Eckhart Tolle is, but he said, it is through gratitude for this present moment, no matter what it looks like, that the spiritual dimensions of life opens up. So no matter what's happening internally or outside ourselves, be in the moment. Be present and be the change you wish to see. And we can't do that by buying into the fear. We can do that by feeling the fear and breathing through the fear and accepting the fear, and the illusion of the 3D world. Nor can we do it by remaining behind for the sake of others. We can only do that by remaining centered in our own hearts, present in our own now, and knowing ourselves as the powerful and fearless creators that we are. Which is exactly what the Lionsgate downloads offered to us. And as those powerful, brave, lion-hearted creators, we do not, in fact, we must not buy into the fear and horror from a 3D perspective, but rather we must view all things from the higher perspective. It is our role to manifest or create from those higher levels, knowing ourselves as creators, standing our ground with a lion's heart against the majority, with courage and with boldness, and holding that space of light, of higher perspectives, that space of peace, and that space of powerful, heart-centered, divine source frequencies as the gods and the goddesses that we are. Never forget, we are the dream weavers. The awakened ones are the dream weavers. So let us weave a sacred geometry, a light and love-filled dream. And it can only be done from the present moment, moment by moment, and without faltering from our faith. And as light workers, I know, we experience a very accelerated rate of growth and personal expansion. And we will often find ourselves feeling as though we are constantly, and especially this year, processing energy and information with very little respite. And well, to be realistic, this is part of the experience of being a light worker. And so for us, the role of channeling light on a daily basis also requires a special form of higher support, as well as a very tangible ability to be able to renew oneself. And because we're in these times of rapid changes and massive energy influxes, we're quite often called to do this renewal and integration process very quickly. And as the inflow of energy waves increase in frequency and in magnitude, and so this is why gathering as a group together for our sacred journey work is so very important. Because when we gather in our soul tribe, it gives us a weekly platform to integrate the downloads, to exchange energy keys and codes, to be collectively taken into the quantum fields during the journeys. And as Robin was talking about earlier, that collective field is super powerful and super love filled. Being collectively taken into the quantum fields during the journey so we can heal. And so we can receive that very much needed respite. And also, so we can share our received channelings, like we did tonight. And it gives us the opportunity to be in the moment and to share our gifts and our wisdoms together as this beautiful collective. And so just before we close off, if you'd like to grab your water and just wrap your hands around it and close your eyes for a minute, and we'll just breathe in the joy and breathe out gratitude and love into the water. And breathe in the joy into our bodies. And breathe out the gratitude and the love directly into the water. One more. Breathe in the joy into our body. And breathe out the gratitude and the love into the water. And then by all means take a sip. Okay, so on that note, I'm already gone. Oh, I can hardly speak. I'm feeling really breathless. So on that note, we shall call it a wrap as far as this discussion goes. And thank you for listening and receiving this light encoded messages. And we'll tune in for the next update next week.